Welcome back to Drinks and Dunks. I'm your host, Ben Marquardt, and we got a great show today for you. We're going to be reviewing a new beer, Great Lakes Brewing Company, as well as discussing our picks from last week, seeing if we were able to pull even on the season and creep closer to avoiding that shotgun. And then we're going to make picks for tonight, as well as at the end we'll have a special announcement for what's going to be coming up in the works. So let's get started with the beer. As I said, we got a Great Lakes Brewing Company. It's out of Cleveland, Ohio. I've actually had a couple of them before. Really good beer again, so we're going to be getting a good score again. But it is a Irish ale, Conway's Irish Ale to be specific. It's actually named after the grandfather of the co-owner. So yeah, at first taste, it has a lot of flavor, but the flavor isn't necessarily always the best flavor. So it does pack a punch for sure, but it will give you a little bit of bad too. So in my player analysis, I've kind of went away from comparisons a bit, but I'm going to dive back into the drink comparisons. So if I were to compare this to an NBA player right now, I think I would compare it to probably like a J.R. Smith, where it's like, he's going to do that 360 dunk. He's going to hit 5 threes and a half, but also he's going to not call a timeout at the end or not pass it to LeBron in the finals when LeBron's putting up a 50-point triple-double on the Warriors. So given that it's a J.R. Smith type of beer, I'm going to give it a 7.4. Not my favorite. Like I said, it does have a lot of flavor, a lot of panache, if you will, a lot of spunk, but it's not always the best. So going with the 7.4. Moving on, we're going to look at our last week's picks. Last week, Wednesday, I picked the Nets -1.5 versus the Pacers. They ended up winning by 10, so that was a W. That brought us to 8-9-1, and we were just looking at the next game to pull even on the season and inch closer to avoiding the shotgun that will inevitably come my way, either this half or the next half of the season. Because we are the Bucks have played 27 games out of their 36 to be at the halfway point, so we're creeping up there. We're getting pretty close, but unfortunately, I had the Hornets +3.5 versus the Grizzlies. And the Grizzlies, it did end up smoking them by 16. So that was an L. Brought me to about the same record I had before, 8-10-1. Still with the possibility to go 2-0 tonight and creep closer to avoiding that shotgun. So for going 1-1 this week, we're gonna have to chug 5 seconds. So here we go. Not a bad chugging beer, actually. Today's picks, I'm going with the Lakers -6.5 versus the T-Wolves. I know Anthony Davis did just get hurt and is going to miss 2 to 3 weeks, hoping for a speedy recovery for him. But I do think the Lakers are just such a better team, even without Anthony Davis. LeBron's going to pick up the slack. Kuzma's going to pick up the slack. I'm sure Taylor Horton-Tucker will get some more play. They still have Harrell and KCP and all these guys who are going to pick it up. So I do think they'll still beat the T-Wolves, who've just been abysmal this season, by 7. So I'm going with them. And then I'm going with the Grizzlies versus the Pelicans. And the Lakers are at Minnesota. And the Grizzlies versus the Pelicans, this is a pick-em. The Grizzlies are home. They do have a better record. I do think they've been playing better of late. So I'm going with the Grizzlies. I'm going with Ja Morant to pull me even. And that is my picks for tonight. So hoping to pull even and creep closer to enjoying maybe a brat, maybe a burger. We'll do something fun, maybe some cheese curds. I'll rate some cheese curds and a brat from a local establishment. So I did just want to get a quick show out to you guys today because we do have some fun news coming up. And on Thursday, we're going to be doing a collaboration with the Bucks After Dark crew. Gave them a shout out on last week's pod, or they have a pod. Gave them a shout out on last week's show. Great guys over there, and we're going to be talking Bucks. We're going to be drinking some beer. We're going to be chatting it up, And so make sure you go and subscribe to them, follow to them on Twitter, as well as follow this show and shoot out some beers you'd like me to drink or want us to drink on Thursday. Thanks again to the Bucks After Dark for giving us a shout out, retweeting us, and getting us a few more followers. So if you're new to the show, thanks again. I really appreciate it. Make sure to leave a comment on what kind of beer you want me to drink. So thanks, guys. Peace.